Well, once again, it's been the story of good and bad for the West Indies. The good, that they've shown their flamboyance, that they've shown what we expect from the West Indies. The bad, which has again been the story of them in this particular tournament, they've continued to lose wickets at regular intervals. 74, not bad at all. You'd take it any day at the 10 over mark, but you wouldn't really want to be 4 wickets down. Christopher Henry Gale will be the talk of the town in terms of not just the brief innings he played, but his exit. We'll talk about that in a moment. Wickets across for Hazelwood, Zampa, and Pat Cummins. Here we are on Cricbuzz Comm Box, halfway through Australia versus West Indies, the first innings. I'm joined by Dinesh Karthik. TK, before we start talk about the state of the game, the manner of Gale walking off, sort of expected. Is definitely his last T20 World Cup game, that was for sure.
Yes, I think everybody at the back of the mind were waiting to see if any sort of announcement was going to be made. But yeah, I think in true Christopher Henry Gale fashion, he just walked out to a lovely standing ovation. He was just happy, all smiles. It was sad to see a little bit because he's been such a fun character to have, a colorful person. He's brought so much to the T20 game. If the T20 game is where it is today after a period of time, a bit has to be given to Christopher Gale for making it a very colorful, fun-loving format. And he's been one of the best at it. He scored 22 hundreds in T20 cricket, which is remarkable. And in this format, he surely is a legend around the world. And for West Indies, he will definitely finish as one of the legends and one of the greats of the game.
Let's just put that figure in perspective. Dinesh Karthik mentioned 22 hundreds. In Test cricket, we talk about X number of hundreds. The next one is probably 1 below, 2 below. The next highest is 8. 22, then 8. That just shows what a dominant factor he is. But A, the fact that he walked out with a smile, and B, in typical Gale fashion, huge six of Cummins, and then goes for an almighty slog again, fearless slog, and gets out.
That's been the story in the last couple of years where he's played some brilliant knocks, but also in between all of those brilliant shots, he's gotten out a few times, which hardly used to happen before. When he was in full swing, he used to keep going, and that's when you get so many hundreds. I thought, West Indies had a great start, 2 overs, 30. They put Australia under the pump. Some of the shots were actually brilliant shots, and through the line, hitting it down the ground. This is what we've come to expect of West Indies, but in their usual fashion in this World Cup, they found a way to self-destruct. The shot that Pooran played, I think he'd be very disappointed with that. I can still understand a Gale. Roston Chase, obviously a good ball up front, not an easy one. Evan Lewis right at the back. I thought he played really sensibly after a couple of the wickets, kind of slowed down, waited for things to, settle down before he went for that a big almighty heave and got out to Adam Zampa. Adam Zampa bowled defensively to the left-handers, but in a very clever manner, I thought. And you could see why he's among the top wicket takers this World Cup, because he's thinking correctly. He's planned it. He kept bowling into the pads. Some lovely strategy at play there.
Yep. Now the leading wicket taker in this Super 12 stage with 11 wickets, just gone ahead of Wanindu Hasaranga. And that's what the bowling effort has been like. Just the one for Mitchell Starc up front, after which there was a hugely expensive over for Joss Hazelwood when you thought that maybe West Indies will have a number over Australia. It wasn't to be. Wickets kept falling at regular intervals. Cummins came back to take Gale. Hazelwood picked up 2. And Zampa's got that one thanks to an excellent catch from Stephen Smith on the boundary. Good support as well from Maxwell and Mitchell Marsh. They're just probably trying to see, DK, what are their options as the fifth bowler. They've tried Marcus Stoinis. Hasn't come off so far in the tournament. I think Australia will be looking before that crucial semi-final, and they'll be hoping they make it, what their fifth bowling option can be.
I think when they play the extra batter, when Ashton Agar doesn't play, obviously they play a Mitchell Marsh at number 3, which suits their batting, but then that lessens their bowling a little bit. And they are obviously, I think, Maxwell is there, Stoinis is there, Mitchell Marsh is there. It's not a big problem, but still they would want to find somebody who they for sure know that this guy can bowl 4 if required. In case one of the main bowlers go for runs, then they will need some backup, and that's what they'll be looking to do. I think they've ticked their boxes today. I do think 150, 155 is a very good score on this wicket. It's not an easy wicket to bat on. It was not coming onto the bat. Rotating strike was easy, but hitting the boundaries was difficult. So we got to wait and watch, what sort of score they're able to muster up at the end of 10.
Yep, I'm just going to hold you to that last statement as we wrap up Cricbuzz Comm Box. Rotating the strike, Yes, that some teams do that beautifully. It's not really the West Indies way. They are boundary hitters by their DNA, and you've got boundary hitters like Andre Russell and Jason Holder to come. Even DJ Bravo can chip in there. So for the last 10 of the innings, when these power hitters come out to the middle to join or replace the likes of Pollard, um, they got to find a way to get through the boundaries and maybe get more than 150.
True. I think if they get going, the names that we've spoken about, the Pollards, the Russells, the Bravos, the Hetmeyers, obviously can take it to a score which is, in many ways sky high. But we also know that they haven't really fired in this tournament, so they'll be under the pressure. And very clever thinking by Australia, and they've cleverly held on to Stark, knowing that he's a great matchup to some of these batters. So when he's going to be coming back, it's going to be hell for leather there. So, very exciting 10 overs coming up. We got to wait and watch, but I still think they can score 150, which is a possibility with the batters in the shed and the kind of strength they have. So let's wait and watch.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting no matter what, because even though Aaron Finch has played down the net run rate, whatever Australia are chasing, they'll just have to have half an eye on trying to get it a little bit quicker if they possibly can. With South Africa playing in the afternoon, all of whom will be glued to their television sets watching this particular game. That's all we have on Cricbuzz Comm Box. We'll come back at the end of the 20th to review just how many the Windies have put on. That's all. We'll see you in the end.